Hello, I can't believe we're already starting week 4 of e-commerce. This week we're going to be looking at chapter 6. As we get into chapter 6, you're going to notice that it focuses on consumer behavior and marketing and how that affects and is different online world compared to in a brick and mortar world, as they call it sometimes. The first thing I'd like to have you do as you get started is to watch a video. The video is called Online Marketing, and it shares with you where this certain company foresees, and these are analysts and people like that, but where they foresee online marketing going and what's going to happen with it. And part of it, they look at Google and Microsoft and compare some of the things that they do and how that could potentially affect online marketing and what we do today. That video is linked in my written discussions. It is also in course materials. There's a couple other videos I'm going to have you watch during this lesson this week, and they also can be found in my lesson area and also under course materials. What you're going to notice as you start going through chapter 6 is that basically the fundamental principles that you have learned in marketing when you took your marketing class remain exactly the same as they do on the web. So your fundamental sides of marketing, what you want to accomplish, those kind of things are the same exact thing. It just is a little different way of looking at it and gives you some different tools to use in that part of it. You're going to notice that the web provides consumers with a brand new environment to interact with firms. Think about Facebook, Twitter, any of those things. Even when you go to a website, you can leave comments. Those are things that weren't there a few years ago, and it was a little harder for customers and consumers to be able to interact with businesses, and now that's been a lot easier. So how has that enhanced our online marketing and what businesses are doing to attract customers? One thing you might want to look at as you start to read the chapter is the intro opening case, which is called Facebook Does Social Marketing Work? It looks at Facebook's efforts to change itself into a marketing and advertising platform, and it just shows how it's using some of the new technologies to be able to do that, and how it is social media. We love it for that side of it, but how it can be also used as an advertising tool for businesses. As you go through the chapter, there are some certain points I want you to remember and really get out of this. The first section is going to talk about online consumer behavior, and in this, if you really pay attention to tables 6.2 and 6.3, that's going to show you how do they establish an audience when we talk about online marketing. It's also going to show some of the models of the complex record keeping that we have to go through, and customer purchasing and all those kind of things that are out there that the internet and social media has allowed us to accomplish. You're also going to know that when you talk about online shopping, you're also going to include the people that purchase things and the people that are just what they call browsers. How can we shift it from being just a research base to actually where people are buying online? I know myself, there are times when I will be looking for an item, like when I was looking for a new camera. I did a lot of research online. I actually went to Best Buy to buy it, just because I wanted to touch it and feel it and see if this is really what they had said it was online. Same kind of thing with my Kindle. I did research between Kindle and iPad, decided that's what I wanted, and then went to Best Buy to buy it, because again, I wanted my hands on. I wanted to try some of the features and some of those things like that before I took it home. And so they really focus a little bit on not only is it shopping online, but it's also browsing online, doing that research online, and how online actually influences our offline purchases and what we do there. Another area we're going to talk about is digital commerce marketing platform. What are some of the strategies they use in online marketing? You're going to hear things like viral marketing, blog marketing, affiliate marketing, one-to-one marketing. You're going to hear all those kind of different marketing aspects and how they are different and how each one of those will affect the way consumers approach the company or what they get out of the advertisement and whether it's really going to be effective for them or not. You're also going to look at branding. How does branding deal with e-commerce and how does it fit into e-commerce? And then can companies brand their own brand using just online, or can they, the old brands that are offline come online, and they're going to talk about that transition that happens with that. There's also a neat article in that section. It's called Mobile Marketing Land Rover Seeks Engagement on the Small Screen. So how a company actually looks at their mobile marketing and makes it different from the traditional online marketing and tries to attract new customers. Kind of a little interesting article. The last part of the chapter is probably the most difficult to get a real grasp on. I know when I teach it face-to-face, my students will say this was the hard part, and I totally understand, because it's the hard part for most of America and anyone getting into it to really understand the full consequences and full cloud that this covers. We talk about two different major things. One is data mining, data warehouses, data beacons, data logs, kind of all deals with cookies. We've all heard about cookies before, but we're really going to dig into the section about data warehouses and data mining. And there are two videos that I have linked in my lessons, like I said before. One is about data warehouses. It shows you an example and gives you a good insight of what a data warehouse is and why people want to use them. And then a data mining, it also is an individual who is just actually another professor who is really talking and explaining data mining in terms that the average human would understand. Sometimes data mining can get very difficult and very technical, and unless you have this really computer-minded, you're not going to understand it so well. So this video really helps. My face-to-face students have always liked that video, said it was very useful, beneficial, helped them understand it more. So I hope you take advantage of those two things to help you. And what you're going to notice is that data warehousing is a real thing, and there are a lot of businesses that all they do is they store other businesses' data. And I have a friend who is the house counsel for a huge corporation in Lincoln, Nebraska, and he came and talked to my e-commerce class about some of the legal issues that fall in e-commerce as they're getting into the e-commerce world in their business that they deal with. And he talked about their data warehouse, and that in Nebraska, they have a company in Maine that stores and is electronically sent over all their data. I know at Mitchell Tech, we have the same system. We have a data warehouse, I think it's in Wisconsin, so that if something traumatic happened to MTI, like a tornado or a fire or anything like that, that our system was crashed and all of our data would have been gone, we still have a backup copy outside of the area, so hopefully that would not be affected. If we stored it in Sioux Falls, chances are it might be affected too. So when you look at data warehouses, it is a huge up-and-coming thing that companies are using. Think of it yourself. When you back things up on a cloud, I have a cloud account and I back things up on the cloud. My whole computer is backed up there so I don't lose it. So it's kind of that same principle, but it's moving it to huge corporations. So, and like I said, that will be one of the most probably difficult things in the whole chapter. For this week, we do have 4 assignments. The first one is a short 20-question quiz over Chapter 5, and that will be found underneath your Chapter 5 assignments. And then I have 3 that deal with this. One is online behavior. That's going to have you take a little survey, and the survey has some strange questions, but they ask you those questions because that's how they gather the information. It's kind of an example of how a business could gather information on you too. And then I have you just kind of analyze the findings of the survey and compare it to what you think your online behavior is and how your livelihood and your lifestyle affects your online behavior. When I did this in my face-to-face class, I had a lot of people mention, well, I live in a farm. It's a lot easier to order things online than it is to drive to Sioux Falls. So there's some of that's the lifestyle that I'll be asking you to look at and analyze. The other thing is the marketing strategies, and what I have you do in marketing strategies is they give you a company that's an online company, and they want you to create a marketing plan using a few of the different strategies like viral blogging or viral marketing and blog marketing, and they just want you basically to say how could that company use that in a marketing scenario. And you can twist it any way you want to. You can be creative with it, add some things, but you're just going to show me that you understand what those strategies are, because those are the strategies that businesses are using out there. And then finally we have a discussion that I'm really excited about. I'm probably going to have to chime in on this discussion too, because it's really interesting. I'm asking you if you think the internet is changing people's social activities. And just for you to really explain what you think on that. And I'm really anxious to see what you guys have to say about that, because that is definitely something that I think not only teachers and some of us look at some of the younger generations and we wonder what is going to happen to when we're always on our computers. So let's have an awesome week. If you guys have any questions, please get back to me. Please email me, and I will get back to you as soon as I can.